What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another Money Growth Academy video. Today we're talking about helium miners. That's right, I finally gave in and I bought one. Now looking back, you know what they say, hindsight is 2020. I should have bought one of these a long time ago, before COVID even happened, when the craze was just starting to happen. I definitely should have bought one a long time ago, but hey, I'm finally here now. I got one. So this video is all about helium mining. So let's get into it. All right, so first let's even dive into what even is Helium, this cryptocurrency. Is it a company? Is it a data company? What even is it? So let's jump into that first. So Helium was created by a group of people with the idea of creating a decentralized network. Sounds familiar, right? Kind of like Bitcoin, decentralized transactions, yada, 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 right? Kind of just like that, except a network to transfer data with. So first, let's talk about IoT devices. That stands for Internet of Things devices. That's things like your phones, GPSs, water sensors, soil sensors, dog collars, right? Pretty much anything that you have or that anyone has, as a matter of fact, that connects to the internet or that needs internet in order to send data. So let's take, for example, a dog collar, right? A GPS dog collar, so you can find your little lost puppy if they ever run away, you lose them, whatever happens, so you always know where your dog is. And data like that is traditionally sent through cell towers or through satellites, and that is fairly expensive when you think about it, right? For a small dog collar company that just needs to send some GPS signals from a dog collar to an iPhone, not that far away, it gets expensive to send that signal through satellite or through the nearest cell tower, because a dog collar company has to pay a data company, whether it's through, Verizon, like a cell tower company, or through, a satellite company. You have to pay for that data bandwidth, just like how you pay for your bandwidth that you use, with your Wi-Fi or with your even normal phone plan. You have to pay to transfer that data back and forth. So me, saying I own one of these dog collar companies, I have to pay for that data that I'm sending through those towers, through satellites, to the owner's phones. So Helium decided that there has to be a better way to do this. Essentially, what they came up with was helium miners. Now, before we get into helium miners more in depth, think of them as mini cell towers, right? Or mini satellites. Instead of having, a cell tower every few miles, what you can have instead is this series of mini cell towers all close to each other, sending radio frequencies which are able to transmit data to one another, right? So instead of, having a cell tower here 8 miles away and a cell tower way out there, another 8 miles that way, right, that are sending data back and forth and collecting all the data, in between this valley of these cell towers, right? What you have instead is this series of little mini cell towers, all, kind of spaced apart from each other, but they're all close enough or have strong enough antennas to be able to send data through this line, almost daisy chaining, if you will, through this line of mini cell towers, able to send this data, from point A way over here 8 miles through this daisy chain of hotspots over here on the other side of that 8-mile stretch. So that's basically what these helium miners are. Think of them more as just mini cell towers. That's the easiest way to kind of understand them. So now that we're thinking of these little helium miners as kind of basically mini cell towers, right? You can send data extremely fast through them and extremely cheap, because so many people have them in their houses, at their offices, at buildings, whatever it is, right? So you have this big field of these hotspots or little cell towers all communicating with each other, able to send data at an extremely cheap price. So for example, then back to that dog collar company, instead of paying Verizon or, AT&T, a satellite company, a bunch of money, instead, I can pay the Helium network a fee that is much smaller than I would pay to one of these big cell companies, right? It's a lot more efficient to use little miners like this to send data. Now that we understand kind of how these work, right? These basically just send data. That's essentially the whole thing. They send data using radio. So now we understand how that works. Let's talk about how do you actually even make money with one of these. So there's a few different ways you can make money. Now, listen, I'm no crypto expert. I've never claimed to be a crypto expert. So I'm going to try and explain this the best way I can. Now, I'm going to explain this word for word right off of Helium's website, just so this all makes a little more sense with their words and not mine. So there's 4 different ways you can currently earn Helium. The first way is challengers. That is 0.9% of the way you can earn helium. So it says right here, hotspots are chosen by the network to issue challenges, encrypted messages over the internet to a target group of hotspots, which is just these helium miners. Challenges are used by proof of coverage to validate wireless coverage. Hotspots can issue challenges from any location, not just local hotspots. So basically what this is saying is that 0.1% of the way you earn helium is through issuing challenges. Now, when you issue a challenge, like it says here, I'm issuing a challenge to, Joe Schmo 300 meters away. And when he bounces back a signal to me, that verifies that his hotspot is actually where it says it is. The next way is number 2, proof of coverage. That is 5% of the helium you earn. So this says hotspots earn a share of H&T for participating in proof of coverage and validating their peers' wireless coverage. The amount each hotspot earns depends on how often it is directly involved in proof of coverage activity. Again, this is another thing talking about making sure that other hotspots in your area and that you yourself are in the area that you claim to be, which then, as it says right here, provides proof of coverage to the network and you get rewarded for that. Next way you earn helium right here is being a witness. This says that hotspots that monitor and report proof of coverage activity beacons of other hotspots receive a portion of helium depending on how much activity they've witnessed and the reward scaling of the challengee. We won't go into the reward scaling this episode, guys. We'll definitely make another one kind of covering all that stuff right there. Now, basically, all this is saying right here is that you're just a witness, right? You're just witnessing that other hotspots around you that you can ping with your beacon are actually on the network. They're completing challenges, right? That's how that works. Whenever you witness another hotspot completing a challenge, you get rewarded credits for that. So the last one is network data transfers. So it says helium is distributed to hotspots that transfer data from devices on the network. The amount of helium is allocated proportionally based on the amount of data a hotspot transferred. So this last one really just kind of talks about what we were talking about just a few minutes ago, talking about if I have a dog collar company and I transfer data and that data happens to go through one of those hotspots to get to a device, that is essentially all that's happening there. And whenever you transfer data through your hotspot, you are rewarded helium. So those are the 4 ways you can make helium currently with helium hotspot miners. They're a little bit complicated sounding, and I'll definitely go more in depth into them in future videos, guys. That's all I'm going to cover because this is just a very surface level video, just an introductory to this kind of little mini series I'm going to do about helium mining and how much I'm actually making. So now let's talk about how this could actually possibly be a better way to mine than Ethereum or Bitcoin, something like that, right? The first reason is really just all comes down to energy consumption. Running this thing all day is a tiniest fraction of what it costs to run, a Bitcoin mining rig or an Ethereum mining rig. The electricity cost to run a little helium miner like this is equivalent to leaving a light bulb on all day or running, your standard Wi-Fi router. This uses hardly any energy at all. It's really low energy because it's just using radio waves. Instead of having to solve these complex equations, which overheats your mining rigs and all of that, you have to cool them. So using one of these is a much more energy efficient way. Also, the entry to barrier on this is so low. Comparative to a Bitcoin miner, which is probably going to run you at least $1,200 to $1,500, this right here, $500. Now, good luck finding one right now, though, because they're all sold out. You got to be able to catch one of these on the launch date, but I will say this, beware of scammers and frauds out there, guys. Only buy through the verified website, or if you're going to buy from like a scalper, just please do it locally, guys. You don't want to get scammed on one of these. You buy it through like Facebook Marketplace and they ship it to you and you open up your box and it's just like a brick. Just buy it brand new, guys. Get on a wait list or buy it locally where you can go open it up first and check it out. Make sure it's never been used, because once these have been used, they are permanently synced to a crypto wallet that whoever made it with, which means if they sell it to you, is synced to their crypto wallet, meaning that any money that once you go and plug this in and it starts working for you, it's all going to go to their crypto wallet because it's linked to their crypto wallet. So be mindful of that, guys. Just be really careful of that. So I really think that when it comes to Bitcoin mining or Ethereum mining, the entry to barrier on this compared to other forms of mining is just so low. I think this is a definite winner for me. That's not to say that Bitcoin mining or Ethereum mining is not a good way to make extra money. You will probably make a lot more money on a Bitcoin rig or an Ethereum rig, But this is just so simple. Plug your antenna in, plug this in, download the app, connect it, and you're up and running in like a few days. It does take a few days to sync to the Helium network blockchain, but after that, you really do nothing. It just sits there. It doesn't make any noise. It's silent. Put it in a room where you have a good view of a window or somewhere up really high. This is just so easy. So now let's talk about how do you know if you're actually going to make money doing this, because you can't just always buy one of these and just start making money. Depending on where you live, you might not make a lot of money doing this at all, or you might make a whole lot of money. It depends. So the best way to check if you're going to make some good money is you go to the Helium website, go to their Explorer page, find your location on the map, and then zoom in. As you can see here, you can click any of these hotspots around you. If there are any even around you, you might not live in an area where there are a lot around you. But if you find an area where there are these hotspots, it's really simple. Just click this up menu right here, click the up menu, and you can scroll down and you see how much money these people are actually making, right? How much money they've made in the last 24 hours, last 14 days, last 30 days, whatever it is. It's a pretty simple way to check how much money people are actually making, so you can have a good idea if you are to buy one of these, how fast are you going to make your money back, and how much money will this be bringing you in every day, every week, every month, right? It's a pretty simple way to check it out. Now, for me personally, in my area, I expected to be making around $6 or so a day, but right now I'm only making around $3 a day, and that is largely due to my antenna. Now, we're not going to go too crazy in depth about antennas this episode, but most of these Helium miners come with a stock 2.6 dBi antenna, which really isn't bad. But again, that depends on your location, because I'll put up a quick picture right here of antenna ranges. So as you see here, when I have this 2.6 dBi antenna, kind of falls in this big circular location right here. So it shoots really up and high and comes back down in this big kind of sphere. But as you see, as you go up in numbers, it's not exactly stronger, but it changes the way it shoots out those radio waves. So you see the higher number goes up, like up to 8.6, even there's a 10 dBi, it shoots those radio waves out much more linear. So this depends on your location, right? If you live somewhere high, you might not want a linear thing because you're going to miss all those other antennas. You want something a little more circular so you can hit all of those. Now, if you live somewhere pretty flat, yeah, that's great to get one of these high number dBi antennas because you can go across all the plane really simply. Now, for me, though, that 2.6 dBi antenna doesn't really do much for me. I'm kind of in an area where I need a little more range, so I upgraded to a much bigger antenna, a 5.6 dBi antenna. Now, take a look really quick at what my stock antenna looked like. It's just a pretty basic, pretty small little antenna here. Now check this antenna out, guys. This is a 5.8 dBi. I needed something that could shoot up a little higher and go out a little further than the standard antenna it came with. So this should get the job done pretty great right here, guys. Right now, my hotspot, I'm only witnessing about 32 or 33 other hotspots. So I'm going to plug this in and see exactly how many hotspots more I can pick up with this. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated in future videos if this actually ended up working out or if it was a waste of money. This was not very expensive, guys. This was only $60 for this antenna with shipping, and it came in just a few days. It's also really nice. It's a fiberglass build here. It's got metal on the bottom. It's really solid. It's not flimsy rubber. So if you ever do buy a bigger antenna, get a fiberglass one. It definitely affects your performance a lot. Anyways, guys, so yeah, I'm going to plug this in today, and we're going to see how much more helium I can actually mine and get rewarded by using a bigger and better antenna possibly. So that's really all there is to this video, guys. I'm going to make a lot more in-depth videos here coming in the next few days after I plug in that bigger antenna and we can see how much more I'm making. I'm going to go a little more in depth into those different antenna types, a little more in depth into how the Helium blockchain actually works. And remember, I am no Helium expert. I'm no cryptocurrency expert. The best way to really understand the Helium network is really just go to their website, guys, as they did a really great job of explaining everything, laying it all out. But do I think this is going to be a pretty profitable thing? So far, I think everything is looking upwards right now. This doesn't look too bad. My area is not super overcrowded. If you live in an area that is overcrowded, you might want to reconsider and do a different form of mining, because think about it. If you have a bunch of little hotspots in one area, it doesn't really benefit the network, right? It's like having like 8 cell towers all back to back. That doesn't really help anyone, right? It's kind of just a waste of money. So you will get rewarded a whole lot less helium if you have too many clumped together. They recommend about 300 meters, but again, that's just all stuff we'll go over in another video. This is just an introductory video, guys. Super happy I ended up buying one of these. I'm pretty excited. So that's really all there is to this video, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and to hit that bell notification button, because over the next few weeks, I'm going to release some more videos here talking about how much I made with my Helium Miner over the last month, kind of going in more depth on the numbers on that side. I'm going to go more in depth also in some other episodes of how the Helium blockchain even works, and, explaining antennas and all of that. All right, it's been a good one, guys. Like this video for me. Comment down below what else you want to know about Helium mining, and let me know down below if you want to see me do more cryptocurrency type of stuff. I'm thinking of maybe getting into the NFT game, just trying to experiment with it. I've even been dabbling in the idea of buying a Bitcoin mining rig. So comment down below, guys, what else you want to see me do. I hope I did an okay job explaining on this video, guys. It's no easy task, but hey, I'll catch you on the next one.